seeing your growth. But I got to tell you a story, bro, about, when I first heard about Elijah Arenas. Number one, so I'll never forget, I was at my homie's house, right? Vernon Till, and he was like, he was my teammate when I played overseas. He was like, bro, you got to check out this kid. And he never says this too. He's like, bro, you got to check out this kid. Like, it's Gilbert's son, Elijah. Like, he been coming to like these adult open runs and he be killing. And I'm like, what you mean, like adult runs? Like, yeah, the adult league games. He be up there hooping. And I was like, oh, snaps. So I called Zach immediately. I'm like, Zach, you didn't tell me, like, hold on, like, is he really nice? So I went to go see you, bro. And I was like, man, I think you were in 8th grade during the time? I think you got the chin mask, the little COVID joint. I think you were still playing with that during that time.
That's 7th grade. So probably like the end of my 7th grade, going into 8th grade. It was kind of like around that time.
Yeah, and like, speak to that, bro. You playing in adult leagues in 7th grade? That's nuts. Like, whose idea was it to do that too?
That was actually my dad's, and I kind of fell into it. Like, we ended up like just watching one, and then we knew. Actually, no, it was a park league. So there was a really big park league in Porter Ranch. It was Nick Young. It was me. There was a guy named Vern, Quincy. Like, there was like a lot of overseas guys, and then we just run it at the park. Like, there's like probably I think 3x3, so it was like 6 courts, and then 12 hours a day. Like, on the weekends, I think we played for like 12 hours, like just straight, sun up, almost sundown. Like, all we did was hoop, and then we would kind of go like king of the court because there was 6, so we all had our own little teams every day, and then we would just play. And then they had told me like it was normally in the summer. No, it was like kind of like that going in like the end of school, and then summer hit, and then they like nobody was like going. So I was like, why nobody going no more? Because they were like, we have the actual ones. Like, we have an actual in adult league. But I was like, all right, go ahead. I was like, go ahead where? He was like, you playing? Okay. So I actually that's when I got into the running shoes. I had found my shoes outside. Those black ones, I had found them outside. And then I took them, and I think I averaged like 16, probably like 3 and 3.
In an adult league. Yeah, they keep stats in the adult league too. For the people that don't know, like, they really take that league serious. That's why I was like, Elijah's playing in there, like, dude's trying to win MVP, all type of stuff. And like, when you played your first couple games in the adult league, like, how was it, and how do you feel like that's helped your game? Because when I first saw you, I'm like, bro, this dude nice. Like, so how was it? Like,
I had to really learn a lot. I had to kind of like find who I was and who I was to like, especially a different team that wasn't playing. But nah, they were treating me well. They kind of like, yo, like, you gotta, they made me grow up real quick. Like, yo, you got the ball. What are you gonna do? So I had to really sit there and figure out, like, what am I doing against grown men? And for me, that was probably the most fun for me. Like, I had to really like just sit there and like solve a puzzle. Like when I drive, why do you steal it? Am I too open? Am I closed? Like, it's just a whole lot of learning. And then I was just ready for it, and I loved it.
Yeah. What can you say too to kids? Like, everybody in y'all new generation always wants to do drill work. None of them play anymore, bro. Like, how has playing helped you in terms of like your reaction, like seeing how defense moves, seeing where the low man is, seeing where help is? Like, how do you feel like that's helped you?
It helped me the most because I'm kind of like a visual learner. Like, if I see somebody doing something, I'm like, whoa, what was that? Like, and I'm over here trying it. Like,
Yeah.
That's how I learned. From a drill, it's just kind of like, yeah, like, you're good by yourself, but how are you going to do when you get, like, to somebody? Are you going to still do that? Are you going to change it a certain way? Do you have a counter to it? Like, that's where all the fun stuff come. And then for me, even in AAU, I always played up. So I always learned things. You have to learn it like this. And my coach he didn't care who I was. Like, everybody thinks I've always been this guy that was, like, I had played the whole minute. No. I started, like, 3 minutes a game.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, yo, you got to earn this. I started working. Got to like 4, probably like 8, 9. And then my average just went up, and then I just became like who I was. But no, he was just like, I don't care. Like, he looked at me and was like, I don't care who your dad is. I don't care who you are. You are just like everybody else. You got to play and you got to work hard.
Yeah.
I was like, no doubt. Didn't miss a practice. And if I did, I called him. Like, it was my coach. It was Coach Darryl for SoCal Cavs.
Oh, yeah, I know you're talking about.
That's who he was, and that's why I'm kind of like the way I am.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't be like this cocky guy and by myself on a team, and then it's just like, no, like, You're a basketball player. Be a basketball player.
Yep. And then